Okay, good morning and welcome to Iyun Mishna. We're learning Kilayim, Paraches, Mishna Gimel here. Hamanik Sofik our boyim. We learned yesterday, Losachos B'Shor V'Chamor Yachtav, this is in the Torah and Dvarim. You can't plow with two types of animals, right? Doesn't matter, two kosher animals, two domesticated animals. If they're different animals, different at all, you can't plow with them together. And the Mishnah on base said also you can't lead them together. You can't lead them from front of them. You can't push them from the back of them two together. As long as they're tied together and they're walking together, even if not plowing, not really actively doing malacha. Maybe they have to be doing malacha. We'll talk about it in a second. You're chayiv. Now the Mishnah talks about actually getting malchus over here. Amanig sovik is arboim. Let's say you lead two animals. You get lashes. Ayoshe b'karon sovik is arboim. Questionable halacha, or not questionable. It's just hard to understand this halacha. Someone who sits in a wagon, right? You have these horse-drawn wagons. Instead of two horses dragging the wagon, you have a horse and a shore, an ox. This is a problem, and you get malchus for sitting in the wagon. Why? So the Rav says, right? Normally, when you have people sitting in the wagon, if the horses knew there was nothing in the horse and the ox knew there was no one in the wagon, they really wouldn't do that. But usually, if they know someone's in there, they're gonna walk. It's just the way animals are. I don't know animals too well, but this is what the Rav says. They're gonna walk based on him. The Rambam's a little different. The Rambam says, he doesn't do anything. By sitting there, he helps the malacha v'tikun. He helps the malacha somehow. And interesting, he mentions the word malacha. It seems the Rambam is saying that we're talking about a case where obviously there's a guy who's hitting the horse and the ox and leading them. By you sitting there, obviously he's chayav malchus, he's leading them, but you sitting in the agala straightens it out. It gives balance to the agala, and you're helping the malacha. You're helping the malacha of these shor and chamor, pushing you, dragging the wagon. That's clear. The Rambam learns an interesting shita. The Rambam, we said yesterday that any two animals tied together doing work would be a malacha. The Rambam learns only talking about a tahora and a tmeya midoraisa. If it's not tahora, if both animals are kosher, both animals are not kosher, it would only be us midrabanan, the Rambam learns. That's an interesting shita. What is that based on? So there's a lot of discussion over here, but I'd like to say that the Rambam learns that the whole sakha shor v'chomer yachtav. Why I say charisha? Charisha is talking about plowing. The isser is that when you use two animals that are a mixture, they're not two of the same animals, the work is ineffective. You're doing ineffective work. That's what you're doing. It's a work that you could be using your time better. You could be using. They're not going to plow as well when you have two different animals. You have two of the same animal that plow together, and only if it's tmei and tahora, then that's completely different and it will ruin the malacha. In the Rabbanan, there goes there any two animals based on the fact that it might come to a tahora and a tmei where it ruins the malacha, and that's why the Ram says here that ozer l'malacha v'tikun. It's not because like the Rav says that they're going based on you, right? Why the Isser we learned yesterday that hamshacha or anhaga. You prod the animals from behind, and you pull them from in front of you. Even if they don't do any work, harisha, it's aser. Why is that aser? So, according to the Rambam, I'd venture to say that it's only aser, hamshachar, and haga if they're actually producing something. You're getting somewhere. You're getting something, some malacha out of it. It has to be malacha. It has to be they're producing something. In which case, if there's no malacha being done, you wouldn't be chayiv. And the whole reason that it's aser is because it's a pagam in the malacha. It's like Kilayim. It's like we learn by mixing vegetables and grapes. You ruin the taste of the grapes. You ruin the taste of the vegetables. That's the whole issue of Kilayim is based on that. You're ruining. It's a pagam in the malacha, pagam in the taste of the fruits and the vegetables. That's why the Rambam says over here that when you sit in the wagon, the problem is that they're going based on you. Someone else. We're talking about someone else is leading the animals. You even get malchus because you're balancing the carriage out, you're making the malacha easier, and you're enabling the malacha. Once you enable the malacha, so therefore, and you're using two animals that are Torah and Tmeya, so the work is not going to be done well. The pulling you is not going to be done well. They're not going to be a good horse-drawn carriage, and it's going to be a chakisar in the malacha. That's the Rambam will learn. It's a big chiddush, but I think that's the Rambam will learn. See you tomorrow. Bye.